So I made it out to Omaha a few hours ago, and we had some food at this Mexican restaurant. It is Cinco de Mayo, so we just had to. Then we came out to our campground here. It's actually really nice. There's this huge lake, and there's a big trail path along the lake around the whole outside perimeter. So currently about halfway through a run. Wouldn't even call it a run, just a light jog around the lake. It's about, I think, close to 8 p.m. It's pretty easy path. It's all concrete, which is a little unfortunate, but whatever. Just trying to keep it chilled out, relaxed, and hopefully not throw up any of that Mexican food. But so far, it's staying down perfectly fine, so I'm sure I'll be fine. And then tomorrow we'll be up bright and early to head over to the convention center for the Berkshire, meeting, Q&A, all that fun stuff. And we'll just, get to see everything that goes on there, and just excited to see what's in store for that. And then Sunday, there's a 5K in the morning because Berkshire owns Brooks running shoes. So they're putting on a 5K. I'm going to do that. And then we're going to drive back to Cincinnati. So that's the kind of itinerary for the trip. Yeah, I'm pretty excited. So far, it's been solid. The driving was pretty good. I drove most of the way, I think. And the last 2-ish hours, there was some rain on and off. At times, it was actually pretty heavy, but overall, it was a pretty smooth drive. No real problems. And just happy to be out here and experiencing this weekend.
So I just got back yesterday from the Berkshire Hathaway Annual Meeting, and I didn't take all that much video, at least not as much as I wanted to, but I did take some pictures, so I'll kind of show some of those and talk about, how it went and what I thought of it. So, like I said, was just chilling at the campground Friday night, and the sunset was pretty cool. I'll put some pictures up here, and then we got up early in the morning and headed over. It was like a 20-minute drive to the convention center. And we got there, a few minutes after 7 o'clock. It was supposed to open at 7, and there was already massive lines. I was really surprised how long the lines were, to be honest, just to get in. So I think I had a short video or maybe some pictures of the lines I can put up here as well. But it was, I don't know, it was very long. The line was at least a quarter mile long, probably like a half mile, to be honest, once it wrapped all the way around. And so, I got at the end of the line, and eventually, after probably about half an hour, it started moving pretty quickly. So we were able to get up in there, or I was able to get up there, and I think I probably got in there around 8 o'clock, 8:15. And then the movie started at 8:30, and that's the only part that is like not broadcast pretty much to the general public. So you kind of have to be at the shareholders meeting in the arena to see it. And I was pretty impressed by just like how many people there were in the arena. I don't know, I just didn't really know what to expect, I guess. So I thought it was cool just to see that many people all at once, and it felt pretty special to be able to watch the movie and everything and stuff like that. So we watched the movie, and then the Q&A started around 9:15, 9:30. Buffett announced the first quarter earnings, which were pretty good, I think, and talked about that for, I don't know, 10 or 15 minutes maybe, and then they started with the Q&A. And there were some good questions, there were some kind of dumb questions, but the thing I like is they seem to always, say something good or funny or interesting or insightful, regardless of what the question is. I think there were some interesting questions about AI that I didn't really expect, just because I don't know, if I was going to ask someone about AI and what they think its effects are going to be, I probably wouldn't ask people in their 90s, but people asked about it, and I think they had pretty good answers. They were basically well, this is a pretty big thing, but we don't think it nearly lives up to the hype, and it's definitely not within their circle of competence, so they're probably not going to be investing in AI or anything. But yeah, that was cool. And then around lunchtime, I went down to the actual convention center where they had all the booths. So they had a bunch of exhibits with a bunch of the different companies. So BNSF, which is the railroad, they didn't actually have, they're not really selling anything to the general public, but they had a booth there with some stuff, which was cool. And then there were just some cool signs from different companies. There was like C's Candies and Brooks Running and um, a lot of companies there. The Pampered Chef thing, I didn't realize that was like such a big brand, I guess, that sold so much stuff, I guess. But my mom said she, knew about it, that brand and stuff like that. So I walked around there for a while and then went back to the Q&A for the rest of the afternoon. And actually in the morning, I was sitting next to this couple, I think that was from Colorado, and I was talking to this lady. Her name was Karen, and she gave me this card that I think you could buy it there for like $1. It says like capitalist on the one side, and then it has a picture of like Warren and Charlie on the other side, which I thought was pretty cool. So I don't know, I thought that was cool that she gave that to me. Apparently she grew up in Omaha and stuff, and her inherited Berkshire stock from her father, which I thought was pretty cool, who's apparently was a similar kind of age as Buffett. But then they had the shareholder meeting, and that was pretty interesting I think that was at 4:30 or so. So a lot of people had cleared out by then, so I was able to get a better seat. And then, they went through the regular, they just elected the board, and, Buffett's basically just like reading a script, and then pretty much all the votes are already cast online. So then the lady reads the results. And then there were some shareholder proposals, which were, I don't know, most of them were about like environmental things or carbon greenhouse gas emissions and diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives for the company and stuff like that. But basically all those proposals failed. And there was I think it was proposal number 5. There was this guy that was talking. I honestly forget what the proposal was about. I think it was about basically it had something to do with like how Buffett or managers donate their money. And essentially the guy didn't like that Buffett donates a bunch of his money to the Bill Gates Foundation, and so he was like saying all this bad stuff about Bill Gates and how he like hangs out with Jeffrey Epstein and stuff, and everyone just started booing, and they basically like told him, if you're gonna talk, you need to like actually talk about your proposal instead of just kind of slandering people essentially. But pretty much all those proposals failed, and Buffett was basically just like, well, I think what we're doing now is working, and we don't really need to change anything. So, and he has most of the votes, so that's pretty much it for the actual shareholders meeting. After those proposals, that was pretty much the end. And then I went over to the Nebraska Furniture Mart, which is a big retail store selling furniture and a bunch of other stuff. And they had a kind of like barbecue picnic thing, which I thought was pretty cool. And again, just huge lines there, tons of people. They had a live band and stuff. And it was like a $5 thing. And you actually got this cup that has like Buffett's face on it real big, which is kind of funny. And then that was pretty much it for Saturday. And then Sunday morning, they had a 5K because Berkshire owns Brooks Running. So they put on a 5K every year. That was pretty fun, just kind of around Omaha. And so I did that. It was a pretty good race. I don't really run 5Ks all that much. Usually I run further distances much slower. But I did the 5K and went faster than normal, so I was pretty happy with that. And then we pretty much just drove home. So overall, I think it was a pretty good trip. I don't think there was anything like super insightful that I heard Buffett say or Munger or any of the other guys, but I definitely learned a lot about the businesses more. And it was just a cool experience to be, in that atmosphere with all the different people that kind of all are united around that common interest of investing in Berkshire Hathaway and Warren Buffett and stuff like that. So it was just a really cool atmosphere, and I'm definitely glad I got to go, as Buffett and Munger are getting in their 90s and, aren't going to be around forever, which honestly is what people have been saying for like 20 years. But, I, who knows, maybe they will live another 20 years, but I wouldn't imagine them living much after that. But you never know what's going to happen. But like I said, I wanted to go, while they're still around. So I don't think I'm going to go every year, but maybe I will go periodically. And I think it'll be definitely interesting to see what happens once they're no longer here, and kind of what happens obviously with the company. I think the company will do fine and will still produce great results, but I think it'll be interesting to see what happens with the shareholders meeting and how the new leadership Greg Abel and Ajit Jain and some of the other investment managers, how they kind of take that on and make it their own thing maybe, or continue pretty much the same thing. So that's about everything I can think of that happened this weekend. And if you have any questions, definitely let me know. And if you are going to the Berkshire meeting in the future, let me know, and maybe I will be there as well, and we can meet up or something like that. But definitely had a great time this weekend, and I don't want to say it was a once in a lifetime experience, because I definitely could see myself going back in the future, but it's something I wanted to do at least once, I guess, is my point. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.